Why don't you tell us about the importance of organizing your job search?
Well, I'm so glad you asked that, Ron. One of the first things that happens when people lose their job is there's no one guiding them as to what needs to be done. There's no structure in their daily activities, and they stumble around trying to do a job search, look for another job, without organizing, without managing their time properly. So it is extremely essential that you have to start with organizing your job search.
Well, how would we go about doing that?
Well, the first thing that you need to do, and you have heard, a lot of people have heard that looking for a job is a full-time job. Yeah, so if you're doing a full-time job, obviously you're going to an office, so get into the habit. Set aside a space in your home. It could be on a corner of your dining table. It does not have to be a formal room by itself. And you designate that as your office space. That is step one. Extremely essential that you get it into your head that this is a full-time thing. When I talk with people, when I'm addressing seminars and groups, I always ask this question: how many of you have heard that looking for a job is a full-time job? All hands go up. I said, how do you define a full-time job? Somebody would come and say, oh, Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day. I kind of laugh at that and say, okay, so maybe that's what you're not doing. That's why you got laid off. Okay. But then I asked the follow-up question, how many of you have been doing it? Not one hand stays up. So obviously, if you're not doing your job properly, there's not going to be a result at the end of it that is in your favor, right? You're not going to get a job. You're stumbling around. So start off by setting up an office space. And now, the second step that I would highly recommend, first off, in our method of job search, career planning that we are teaching, is there is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all resume that you tweak and send out to multiple employers. Every job now needs to have a targeted resume, and you need to keep track of it, right? So on your desktop, on your computer, laptop, whatever medium that you're using, set up a separate folder, and you're going to call it as job search. Now, in that job search folder, you start putting in separate folders for each job that you have applied for. So people sometimes come up and say, okay, so what needs to be in that folder? Okay, here's what I want you to have in that folder. Number one, a copy of the job description. Number two, you need to put in a copy of the resume that you have written for that particular job. And we'll talk more about that when we come up with the resume and how to master the applicant tracking systems segments. We'll talk about what needs to be in the resume. But for now, as far as organizing your job search, right? So, separate folder. You're going to have a separate folder for each job that you have applied for. And in the master folder, you need to start a tracking sheet. It could be a Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet. You're going to track your activities on a weekly basis. See, no one is coming and asking you and holding you accountable. But at the end of the month, when those bills come in, yeah, I mean, what do you do? What have you done with your time? So that is where organizing your job search is going to be so important. And by the way, if you're collecting unemployment, when the unemployment agency calls you up or they send a letter out asking you to bring in proof of your job search,
Right.
that's one way that you can prove to them that, hey, this is what I have done in the previous couple of weeks or whatever they're asking you for. I've sent out so many resumes, I've talked to so many people, and we at the Center for Strategic Solutions, we've got some papers, some pre-formatted material that we can send out to you if you need some help with that. Feel free to contact us. It's info@www.cfss.us, and we'll be happy to reach out to you and share some of the information and send some paperwork out to you.
Mohammed, thank you. Those were great ideas. And thank you for watching CFSS TV. This is Ron Weber and Mohammed Fahim. Come visit us on our website, www.cfss.us. www.ccf.us.